What's up, creeps? It's Jason, a.k.a. the Pope of Pain. It is Sunday.
It's Sunday, baby. It's our day.
If you watch this, it's Sunday.
It's our day.
Today. If you're watching this tomorrow, probably it's Monday. And oh, cheers, mate.
Cheers to us.
There we go. All right, that's good. Of course, this is JDK, and we're back here on a Crypt Cut, and we've been doing a lot of lists lately.
Yeah.
But that's cool, because I like lists. I don't know. I'm simple-minded, so I can accept that fact. But we talk about the movies. We talk about franchises. We talk about the monsters. We talk about all this stuff. But how does a movie get made? There's one person that fucking is the ringmaster, right? the puppet master. Of all these films, right? And it is the director. Am I not right?
You're absolutely
okay.
right.
All right. Hey, I'm sorry. I looked at your new cavity colors fucking T-shirt.
Nice,
there.
right? Come get them.
Shit, man.
Come get them, baby.
Wow,
we're stocked up.
Holy hell. Okay. Yeah, we have some rad stuff. But it's the director, and I'm sitting there thinking, right? We were texting this morning back and forth. I'm like, what's your favorite directors? And then you hit me, and I'm like, not even close, right? So I figure we do this, right? Let's give these the big D's here some love, right? Let's hop on the big D, and
all aboard, baby.
All aboard, choo choo, and let's give these directors some love, because I'm going to lay out. Normally we lay out like a number like top 5, right? That's what most people do. Top 5, this top. We're going to go one better. We're going to go top 6. Because this is the best show on YouTube.
So you're going to be getting
just no one knows it yet.
Yeah, yet, okay? You're going to be getting a dozen D's today.
Oh,
right?
Wow. I seen that movie. Anyway, so we'll go top 6, right? And we'll just bounce back and forth, man. How about that?
Let's do it.
We'll try not to make this an hour video. We'll try to get this through here. But there's some people that need some recognition, man. So you want me to kick it off?
Kick things off for us, buddy.
All right. I'm going to throw out number 6 for me. Is a guy that probably no one knows, but he is 100% the pioneer of splatter, right? It came out in the 60s, and well, he's been directing films in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but the 60s was his jam, and it's Herschel Gordon Lewis, right? H.G. Lewis, which people are like, who the fuck is that, right? You may have heard of a few movies, Blood Feast, right? 2000 Maniacs, The Wizard of Gore,
Wizard
right?
of Gore is so rad.
Yeah, and Herschel Gordon Lewis, man, he was, once again, a pioneer in this splatter, I guess subgenre of horror that not too many people were, like, he was way ahead of his time because he didn't get any credit, right? Like, you talk about 60s, what do you think? Hitchcock and shit like that, right?
Right to it.
Yeah, and now this guy, H.G. Lewis, was fucking making the screens blood red way before anybody else, man. And the cool thing about H.G. Lewis's movies, if you're watching these things, are really psychedelic, kind of trippy, because it's the 60s, right? I think everybody was on acid. Even when you were born, the first thing they do is give you a hit of acid in the 60s and you're good, right?
Welcome.
Yeah. So, but his blood was, go watch his blood. The blood was the weirdest color blood, man. I don't know what formula he used, but it was like super bright, weird, and all that shit.
But again, a pioneer, as you noted, right?
Yes.
So they didn't quite have that dialed in yet, but the blood did look fantastic.
It looked rad, man. So super cool blood, and these are the films I grew up on, right? These are, once again, you rent these for a buck down at the the video barn or whatever, and you watch it. And then just because I watched The Wizard of Gore this week, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And you're like,
still one of the
I don't know.
One of the coolest titles I ever heard. By the way. Come on.
And he has tons of Paint Me Blood Red. I mean, the guy has had a whole library. I just named a couple, but he doesn't get the love because, once again, once the 70s hit, he just got forgotten because all the now we start getting all the big bangers and all that stuff. So H.G. Lewis, I tip my hat. You're number 6 on my list. All right, what's your number 6?
Number 6 on my list is a newer guy. The newest guy on my list, personally, is a man that keeps me up way late at night. James Wan. Okay, so
James Wan,
baby.
I love some James Wan. Man, he's at number 6, huh?
A lot of different friends. So he obviously kicked off with Saw.
Yeah,
we have a lot of the paranormal stuff, which we know and love.
Sure.
We got the Insidiouses. We got the Conjurings.
Yeah, the Conjuring.
Dead Silence, which was a slept one.
Right.
One.
It was funny because I really never. Like, The Conjuring was one I nailed. And I didn't even think, because obviously Saw became before Conjuring.
Correct.
But I didn't know who directed it. I didn't pay attention, right? And then when I saw The Conjuring, I'm like, okay, I need to know who did this shit. This is rad, man.
Yeah.
And then I go down, I'm like, oh my God, look what else he's done, And then the guy, whatever he touches, I think, in the paranormal world, Gold, 100%. But he also likes to hit it and quit it, too.
We talk about this a lot on Creepcast.
Yeah.
He is a hit and quit it because he does some of the coolest shit, and then he's just done with it. He's over it.
I kind of like that, right? In other words, he's not just hanging on to one thing, and he's not like, hey, guys, I just directed Conjuring 14,
right?
You know, and then, I think he knows, like, I don't want to get too, once again, he still may be around, but he may not be directing. He'll produce and all that stuff, right?
What I like about him is he leaves you wanting more, which is where you want to be in as a director, right? Like, always have people wanting more, because, like, I think they're on Saw, like, what, 30 right now?
Probably.
And he's probably so glad he's not attached to those, because... So, I mean,
I would be too.
Right? And The Conjuring 1 and 2, those two were fantastic. The Conjuring 2 might be one of my favorite movies of the last 15, 20 years. Like, I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah.
Dead Silence, we could have had 2, 3, 4 more of those, just one, and it was an incredible movie.
Is true.
And he did Malignant, which I don't know how you felt about that.
Yeah, no, that was wild.
I was cool with it.
Yeah, that was a different one for me, but I didn't hate it. I liked it. It was fucking trippy, man. So like it's like a modern day basket case almost, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
very,
or kinda, I guess,
right.
or whatever, without the basket and without Belial. But get
Right.
the back of the head. You know the fuck I'm talking about.
My current
Don't judge me.
judge. My modern day probably favorite director.
I'm kind of with you on that, man.
So-
I'm kind of with you. All right, number 5 for me is once again dear and near and all that good stuff to my heart. It's Uncle Lloyd Coffin, right? He is my uncle. As of today, he doesn't know it, and
He's the people's uncle.
he is the people's uncle. And you guys don't know who he is. Holy hell. Okay, well, look, Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High. Well, first of all, like almost all the Toxic Avengers.
Yeah.
Class of Nukem High, Troma's War. The guy has directed 68 fucking movies.
It's incredible.
Right, and they're all just in that vein of just weird trauma stuff. You know, what I mean,
For sure.
He's the founder of Trauma, right? Lloyd, he's even written books. Write your own damn movie or how to direct your own damn movie type of shit like that. It's just the guy will just give you all the knowledge for free. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And all the mistakes he's made in life, he'll just tell you, like, here you go, man. Now go fucking make your movie.
Right.
But we all love Lloyd Coffin, man. In fact, we love him so much, we're bringing him to Arizona, August 26th, 27th. What? All right, Gathering Ghouls, shameless plug, man.
Plug, baby.
Yeah, but
come see him. Talk to him about those 178 movies.
yeah,
You know
there
what
we
I
go.
mean?
Yeah, it's a lot more. I didn't know you had that many, but that's a lot. So
By August, you know what I
by
mean?
August, that's true. They make about 60 a year. So, but you guys gotta love Lloyd Coffin. He's like literally about 400 years old and still directing. He doesn't care. Straight out of New York, man. And the guy can get shit done. So, Lloyd, you're always in my heart, buddy. You're always in my top 6 directors, and coming in at number 5. All right, what's your 5?
Number 5 for me, a man that made one of the coolest movies I saw as a kid, Black Sunday, Mario Bava.
Oh, Mario.
So-
all right. That guy's Italian, right?
He's Italian.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And this guy was probably one of my gateways to the Italian horror genre, right?
Yeah.
And one of the coolest scenes, the introduction to Black Sunday, is still one of the fucking most brutal openings to a movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That mask of Satan that
That's
they put
cool,
on
man.
was-
I didn't know anything about that until you showed me that. And
Yeah.
that was like, okay, that's rad,
and
man.
who doesn't love Barbara Steele in that movie, too?
Yeah,
Come on.
good point. Good
Come
point. Yeah, so
But I would argue, too, we talked about this on Creepcast a
Yeah.
lot. Listen, obviously. Come on, Creepcast on Spotify and YouTube. Let's go.
What?
In my opinion, one
Yeah.
of the first true slashers, A Bay of Blood.
I can't
Of
really
the
argue
slashers
with
we
that.
know. Of course, we had a few before that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I felt like that one set the pace for the 80s slashers as we've come to know them.
I agree. I agree on that. That's and you're right. And Bob he's a shit, man, or was. I don't know. He's probably dead.
He's got to be dead.
Imagine he can't be that old,
gotta
right?
be, can't
Although
be.
I said that about Lloyd Coffin, and literally he had his 140th birthday the other day. So
Right. R.I.P. Mario.
yeah. So all right, Mario Bob. That's a good one, man.
Number 4.
Wow, number 4. It's kind of weird to put this guy at a 4 because he's once again so influential. Ooh, influential. I don't know how that. I got
Flexing
that.
your education.
Well, went to 6th grade education, went to 3rd grade twice. Motherfucker, what's up? All right, we're talking about Sam Raimi, right?
Oh, wow.
And everybody's like, of course, Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness, but it all started back in the day with Within the Woods. If you ever get your hands, I think it's on YouTube. Someone ripped it and put it on YouTube. Within the Woods was like the test film, right, for or the short for Evil Dead.
Right.
And it's great because it still has Bruce Campbell in it, but he's actually the I don't know what the word is. Is it antagonist, protagonist, whatever the bad guy is?
Yeah.
He is the bad guy. He gets possessed in this thing, and he's the guy that gets killed off the end, but it's really rad, man. But and you know, obviously Sam has went on to bigger and better things. After Drag Me to Hell and all that stuff, he started doing Spider-Mans, and maybe he did Spider-Mans before Drag Me to Hell, but he keeps bouncing back into the horror world because he knows his roots. He knows what made him who he is today, right?
He's a gangster dude, jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's the man. His brother's cool as hell too.
Yeah, Ted.
Ted, yeah.
And then no one knows about Tom.
Tom
Raimi.
no.
Tom, he did that stint in prison. No one. Yeah, it's a long story, man, but really good guy too, right? Yeah,
right.
He's our janitor here.
Sam Raimi, baby.
Yeah, Sam Raimi. You guys, he arguably in the Hall of Fame of horror directors, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, what's your number 4?
Giallo fans rejoice. We're talking Dario Argento.
Of course. I'm shocked we're going this route.
So I'd argue no movies look. While Jason, you might not be a fan of a lot of his movies, you will say they look absolutely incredible, they sound impeccable, right?
Yeah.
This guy's sound design that he has throughout his films incredible. He obviously features plenty of goblins, so all you Italian composer fans out there.
I'm a Goblin fan, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Where do you start with him? Suspiria.
Yeah.
Deep Red.
Yeah.
Tenebrae.
Yeah.
Phenomena, which is one of my favorite.
Phenomena is like
favorite scores.
Yeah, that's up there for me too, right?
It's a really
I'm not
cool
a
movie.
Suspiria fan, right? We said that before, but Phenomena was great.
Who knew you can make a film about insects just fun,
right?
Work.
It's fucking Italians, they know, right?
And he's responsible for some of the longest titles in the cinema history.
Yes.
4 Flies on Gray Velvet. I just hate even saying
where you come up with like 4 Flies on Gray Velvet, man? You know what I'm saying?
A bird with the crystal plumage. He was doing that acid you were talking about with the
with Herschel Gordon-Lewis.
Lewis.
They were dropping acid hard, dude.
So,
that shit, man.
yeah, number 4, Dario Argento. What needs to be said, man?
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. He definitely needs to be on this or somebody's list, right?
Correct.
So
number 3.
Number 3. This is by far the king of zombie movies. All right, that's right. No, that ain't what you think it is. It's George Romero, right? Look, this guy started with your night, dawn, day, right? And I'm not gonna get into the rest of the bullshit like The Land and all that shit. Sometimes you make mistakes, George. It's okay. Rest in peace, brother. But I mean, you got to think he kicked off the modern zombie movement. Right? Don't get it. I mean, we can go back into a white zombie back in the day. Not even talking to me about this shit, right? But you go back to the, like white zombie, but that's like
I love that band, dude.
Yeah, but that's like voodoo zombie, which I respect, by the way. But when you want to talk about coming out of the grave and fucking eating you and shit, right? And the slow walkers and all that stuff, no one did it better than George Romero.
Okay, all seriousness, George Romero gave us Creepshow.
Yeah.
So I mean, that I'm grateful.
Yeah, once again, Creeps. Oh, by the way, we're filming this on Sunday. Happy Father's Day, right?
Happy Father's Day.
There you go. Yeah. But Crazies, Monkey Shines. I mean, the guys. He's a legend, obviously, in the horror world, right? And I would say, I know a lot of zombie movies were done better and all that stuff past him, but he led the charge, man.
He did lead the charge. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So the Godfather of the Walking Dead. I'm going to say that right there.
Okay.
Oh, wait, am I allowed to say Walking Dead without a copy?
I was just going to say you just got copyrighted.
Yeah, right. Anyway, all right, what's your number 3?
Number 3, a guy that should probably be a lot higher, but he's not. The master of horror himself, John Carpenter.
Okay.
So this guy gave us everything. He gave us Halloween.
Yep.
He gave us The Fog.
Yep.
He gave us Snake Plissken in Escape from New York.
Yes.
In the Mouth of Madness, Prince of Darkness. They Live, The Thing.
How's this guy number 3?
Because we got some Italians that got something to say about it.
Go figure, right?
But no, John. What else could we say about John Carpenter too? What was one of your first? Michael Myers is larger than life.
You got to go. You look at Halloween, the way what he did with Halloween, and look, we're not. Halloween's been beaten to death, right?
It has.
But it's still you watch the OG 78, and I don't care if you hate horror, you enjoy this film, right? Because he did it so perfectly. There's no blood. It's not what I'm saying? It's just creepy. He kept the shape and the shadows most of the time,
and he kept giving us Kurt Russell too. I mean, I wanted to be him in every movie he was in growing up. It didn't matter if it was The Thing. It didn't matter if it was Snake Plissken again. Once Escape from New York. Like, I wanted to be that dude.
Yeah, no,
still do.
Carpenter, the champ, man. That guy, he is definitely what?
And he didn't want to do his own music, or he didn't want to pay to have somebody do music. So he was like, "I'll just try this shit on my own." And you get one of the greatest songs in the history of horror with the Halloween theme. It's not fair.
Yeah.
All these multi-talented people.
He's very multi-talented, amazing director, and hey, he's still alive, by the way.
We salute you, John Carpenter. He is.
Yeah, for now.
Alive but barely breathing, but he's doing all right.
You imagine his tomb? Holy shit, dude. So many big booty goth chicks are going to be all over that thing, man. So,
clapping.
Oh, my God, man. I'll be one of them, shaking it on top of his grave,
doubt,
man.
dude.
So, all right, number 2. We're getting serious now.
Okay.
Yeah, right? We're going
what
to
you
see
got?
it. So, you know my franchise. You know who it is, man. And you know I love me some Toby Hooper, okay? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, uno and dos. Right? So, Poltergeist, The Funhouse, Salem's Lot. Jesus, this is like a fucking resume from hell, dude. You know?
Toby Hooper, along with John Carpenter, might have the greatest streak in
Yeah.
the late 70s, early 80s.
For sure.
With those films that you just mentioned.
God, I mean, do you imagine having that repertoire? I don't even know what that word means. I know it's French.
It sounds good, though.
Yeah,
I think you
and
used it.
but if I had that, if I had all those films under my belt, I would always say the word repertoire.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't ask me to spell it, but I could sure
Yeah.
as hell say it.
But yeah, what a legend. And I know people are like, well, Poltergeist, Steven Spielberg, get out of here, right? Spielberg was his bitch, okay? He's just like, look, I need your name on it because you got money, right? So I'm gonna make a movie about a real freaking haunted house, man.
Right.
All right, don't just stay in the shadows, buddy.
Right. I watched Poltergeist last night, by the way. And
Did you?
again, this movie's still one of the coolest movies ever made, man. I
Man.
love that movie so much. It's got Hayden Fox from Coach.
Yes.
I mean, it's like the coolest thing ever.
I love it too, man. And Toby Hooper, man, like I said, even like Sam's Lot, where he was forced to do like a TV series on it, right?
Right.
Still made it fucking creepy as hell, man. Those window scenes, blah, fuck, dude. If I see one of those things in my window, we're burning the house down. I don't care. All right?
We hail you, Toby Hooper. And Caroline Williams and TCM2.
Oh,
Come see her as well.
yeah, that's
Shameless
right.
plug, August 26th.
August 26th.
27th.
Yeah. How about that?
Mesa.
All right. What do you
All
got? Number 2.
Number 2. I mean, we got to go to the original horror show.
Oh.
And a nod to our old pal, Museum Danny. We're going to go with James Whale, or James Hole, as I like to call him. He gave us The Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Well, obviously, something came along before that.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man, Jason,
Yeah.
one of your favorite movies ever.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
He gave us Frank. He ggave us, I had to write this one down.
Oh,
Old
did you?
Dark Horse, just watched it 2 nights ago
Oh, cool,
for the first
cool,
time,
yeah.
but it was rad.
No, that's a good. I'm kind of glad you put that him in this list because
We got a tip of the cap.
you got to go to the old Universal guys, right? I mean, you know, once again, and I said Herschel Gordon Lewis was like a pioneer. These are real pioneers too, right? You're doing a horror films, you know, back in the 30s, 40s, and all that stuff. That wasn't popular. Like right now, Terror Trader we'd probably be like burned at the stake back in the 30s and 40s, right? For having what we have here,
Right.
And so someone had to lead the charge and start putting out these amazing films, you know. And you know, I love these because most of the run times are like a fucking hour or 5 minutes, right?
Right? And as horror fans, we love death and dying.
Yeah.
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Kills a lot of people.
Yeah, actually, it's like one of the highest body counts I think in the whole Universal monsters thing, like 100 and bunch, right?
500, like 26.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going
whatever.
with it.
Don't quote me on that number, but for sure. So that's a good one. I like that. I'm a little shocked, and I'm actually, you know what? I'm proud of you for putting it that high up, man.
You got to tip of the cap to the OGs.
Yeah, you're right,
You know?
man. Once again, they paved the way, man. All right, we're down to number 1s. Yeah.
What's left?
Well, look, I'm going to throw you a curveball on mine, okay? Because this is one that people will be like, what? And but to me, not only the most super influential, is that the word I'm looking for?
I like that.
Director in the horror genre, but he jumped the tracks a little bit and said, look, not only can I do some fucking badass horror, I'm gonna make you. You know that little trophy they give you? I don't know if
Yes.
you've seen those things. It
Yes.
has that gold thing or whatever. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you give me one of those, right? And I'm talking about Peter Jackson, right? You're like, wait, the guy did Lord of the Rings and all that shit, right? I've never even watched the Lord of the Rings. I don't
No.
care, all right? I'm not sorry. I don't. I played Dungeons and Dragons once and I sucked, so I'm like, I'm out of here, right? So, but I'm talking about Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive. If you haven't seen any of those three, by the way, Meet the Feebles is one of the most disturbing puppet movies I've ever seen in my life, right?
Terrifying.
Yeah, and Dead Alive. I mean, the amount of blood they use. Remember the lawnmower scene?
One of the most gruesome scenes.
My God, man. Bad Taste. I mean, it's so good. All this was just incredible New Zealand horror, and it was so badass that Peter Jackson went from doing these things with people, and these are by far crazy B midnight spook show type of movies.
Which you love.
You're right. Into winning an Oscar, staying on stage going, yeah, look at this. I got a trophy, you know?
I feel like I know you fairly well,
Yeah.
as does the audience by now.
Yeah.
Toby's your guy.
100%.
What is it that gave him the nod over for the number 1 spot?
I think that it was because once again Peter could have stayed doing what he's doing and probably still been in my top 6, right?
Right.
But I think he needed to prove to people, and what we need people, because you know a lot of the outside of the horror genre in the film world, because you know I'm very popular in Hollywood, and you know I run these circles, so I don't know if you guys know that. They snub their nose at us, right? They snub their nose at the horror genre. Oh, it's cheap, it's easy, this and that. So a guy jumped out of the basement, right? Because if any of these major Oscar fucking judges, I don't know how that works, panels or whatever, they just had, okay, you got Bad Taste, you got Meet the Feebles, they wouldn't even give you a fucking look, right?
Fair enough.
So Peter Jackson's like, watch me, right? He's kind of like Rocky when he comes up the stairs and he's like, whoa, look at me, right? And then he knocks out fucking Ivan Drago, takes the award home, probably makes out with a couple chicks and walks away, right?
America, baby.
Yeah, and well, he's from New Zealand or something, but that's okay, close enough. He did win in America, so I think that it's him coming out of the B, C level horror, and like he didn't even do like, it'd be different if you're like, oh, I directed a Halloween, I directed this and that, so I can see that. He didn't have any of that in his resume. He went from shit horror, in some people's eyes, to winning an Oscar.
I'm really glad you shined the light on Peter Jackson today, man.
Okay.
I think a lot of people probably that are watching haven't seen these movies that you're talking about.
A lot of people don't even know that the Lord of the Rings guy started just making some fucked up movies, man, at the beginning. Really rad stuff too, man.
Right.
So, all right, what is your number one?
Number one, from a guy that we might not have seen all of his movies, to a guy that everybody's seen every one of his movies.
Oh.
The father of gore.
Oh, please.
Lucio Fulci.
I knew this was coming, right?
Come on. We hail thee. So, I know you're a fan of this, man. Don't even
I
trip.
am, man.
Come on. He gave us Zombie 79. He gave us the Gates of Hell trilogy.
Yes.
This guy gave us everything. He even dabbled with a little spaghetti western. He even dabbled with a little bit of Giallo himself.
Yeah.
With a lizard in a woman's skin, which we talk about a psychedelic trippy fuck show. I mean, holy shit. That's one you should all check out tonight.
Yeah, that is a wow.
But this man, cold-blooded, by the way. If
Yeah.
you ever saw his documentary on Shudder, Fulci for Fake, this guy was just ruthless. He didn't give a shit about his own family. He didn't kind of care about anything
A
or
lot
anybody.
of Italian directors are just fucking weird assholes like that, right?
Right.
They're just like, and like they can make a shitty movie. Like the guy who made Troll 2, I think he was Italian, right?
He was.
And it was like everybody makes fun of that movie and he'll get pissed, right? I think he's dead now, but
he thought it was the best movie ever.
Yeah, he was like, "What the fuck do you mean Troll 2's bad? This is a masterpiece." So one thing I'll give respect to the Italians, right?
Yes.
Is
Paisans.
right? When they make a movie, it's the best. It's the best. Fucking rip up the rest. You know what I'm saying? And you got to wear that. You got to walk and talk that way. You got to have that pride because nothing sucks worse when you're a director and you're like, the movie sucks. I'm sorry.
Right.
Don't apologize. This is the best fucking movie you ever made until you make another one. You know what I'm saying?
And you talk about things like extreme. He took gore to the extreme in the late 70s, early 80s, but then he just took everything to the extreme with movies like The New York Ripper, which is a tough watch if you're new to the extreme horror type genre. It's a very uncomfortable watch.
Yeah.
But it's a violent, very brutal movie.
Sure.
But the man's responsible for some of my favorite films to ever exist. Fabio Frizzi, the maestro.
Yes.
He features him in pretty much the majority of the horror-related films.
Yeah. City of Living Dead. Was that him?
That's him.
Oh fuck. What? Okay, I'm just telling you right now. My favorite Italian film. Right there.
It's the most cohesive and put together too.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for plot points, go back to Argento, I guess, because you ain't gonna find it here.
But no, mad respect for Fulci, man. And I mean, hell, you name your cat after him, man.
Yeah.
The guy should be impressed or something.
R.I.P. to them both pretty soon.
Oh.
Ciao, Bella.
Yeah, ciao. Anyway. All right, guys. So there you guys go. There's our top 6 apiece.
That's
right?
a beefy
we gave you 12.
We gave you the D today.
Yeah. Wow. We gave you the D, man. Once again. Right. Boom.
Bang.
Okay. So I love to hear your guys. What do we miss? Who do we miss out of here? You know what to do, guys. Put it in the comments. Let me know. You guys are really good at let us know what we fucking missed, by the way. I read these comments. I feel like shit.
Me too.
Which is great because I love feeling like shit, right? So this is awesome. So let us know. And in the meantime, fucking roll camera.